Alright, so first things first, we can kind of get into the background situation and kind of what's just been going on as of lately. Hi guys, so it's me, Megan. We have not talked in a while, like a long while. The reason I wanted to come on here is because I don't know if this footage will serve me any purpose for the future. Actually, I know it will, regardless of what happens in this situation. I feel like it's important to document things, whether that be like video like this or like writing stuff down, just so that you can reflect back and look on it and be like, wow, look where I'm at right now. So I'm trying to decide like where I should start in the story, but I don't want to make it like super long, because when I start talking about things, like I forget what I'm talking about, and then I just like, it's just too long. Also, I just have like this random scarf on my head, but that's just because my hair is literally in these little bantu knots all over my head. So long story short, I had an interview yesterday and it actually went really well, you guys, like super well. And I think part of the reason it went well, or not even part of the reason it went well is because I prayed about this, you guys. I prayed about this. I manifested it. Like I said, I saw myself in this position, but I also like really like had conversations with God, yes, in my head a lot of the time, but it was just like, I just want this. Honestly, and they told me after the interview that it could take up to like 3 weeks for them to contact me back to tell me if I did or did not get it. So I just like don't know what to do with myself. Like I just don't know what to do with myself. I literally think about it like every 5 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, did I get it? Did I not? So if you follow me on Instagram, or if you're friends with me in real life, or even I might have mentioned a little bit on Snapchat, but mostly just Instagram. But I got a new job in a whole different state, so I moved and I'm super excited. This is something that I've been working towards since my undergrad, because this is something that I majored in. This is something that I've interned for, and it's just like kind of one of those things where it's like a long way coming. Or I wouldn't even say it's been a long time coming, because I literally just graduated from school a year ago and I'm already working in my field. There's a lot of things I want to do, so this is definitely one of the things I wanted to accomplish. I just didn't think it would happen so soon, and I am so blessed to be in this position. And I just took this leap of faith, and now I'm here in Oklahoma City. And if you guys didn't know, I'm originally from the Dallas area, so I'm not too far from home. It's about 2.5 hours. So my last job was somewhat the same position. Also, I'm literally on an air mattress, so that explains the background. I'm in my new apartment. However, I have no furniture. My couch, I believe, comes like either next week or the week after that. And then I got a bed. The bed I got is just like one that you assemble from IKEA, but it's super cute. It's one of their newer furniture pieces, so I don't think this is anything anyone's ever seen before as far as like the regular, you know, standard IKEA furniture. So I need to assemble that. However, my mattress does not get here till almost the end of the month, so there really is no rush on, you know, assembling the bed. Yeah, so I moved into my apartment a few days ago. I really didn't buy anything ahead of time, so a lot of things I want to get, I'm just gonna, you know, look around online or like go to TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and try to find things. I didn't want to just buy stuff just to like get it, because I am so, wait, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm very like indecisive. Like I could look at something and be like, okay, this is like what I need, but I wish it was a different color. And then I'll be like, well, should I get it or should I not get it? And then I will like seriously debate on that for like ever. But yeah, so that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and put my makeup on. I know I've just been talking the last like 3 minutes, so you're probably like, okay, Megan, get to the point of the video. I'll have all the products listed down below, so if you want to know what I'm wearing, just look in the description box. I don't know, what should I talk about? Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you guys kind of about my previous job. Not that it really matters, but it is kind of, for the most part, how I was able to get this job. So my last job was at a community college. That job I very much just got on a whim. I had already been working at the school, but I was doing front desk. And then one day this lady came in, and per usual, just from me being at that job, a lot of people assumed I like went to that school, like that I was a student there. And she asked me if I was a student there. I told her no, that I had already graduated. And she kind of just asked me, she's like, oh, so like what's your major, like what did you major in? So I told her I majored in public relations. And if you guys aren't familiar with public relations is, or what it is exactly, I highly recommend looking into it, especially if you're into writing, or if you're into social media, or if you're into public speaking. Like, it ties into so many different things, and I really do stand by this degree. So I told her this is what my major was, and that I was just kind of like, for the most part, just like having a hard time getting my foot in the door. And this was back in like May, I would say. So this was kind of right before the summer was about to start. And at this point, I had been out of school for probably like maybe 6 months, maybe less than that. Or I had graduated from school. So she's like, oh, well, why don't you contact a director of marketing here at the school that I was already working at? And so I sent him an email, and I sent my resume, and I just asked him, I was like, oh, do you know of any like internship opportunities? Like, I'm just having a hard time getting my foot in the door. Or if you like have any advice. For the most part, I really just wanted to get advice from him because, you know, it's like kind of discouraging when like you can't get into the field that you went to school for. Like, especially if you spent all of your undergrad doing that, like 4 or 5 years, and you graduated and now you're just like jobless. Granted, I had the job at the school, but that wasn't what I wanted to do long term, and it was only part-time. So I hit him up and I sent him an email. He replied right back, and he was like, oh, let's meet tomorrow. Like, I'll be on campus tomorrow. Like, I'll let you know when my meeting is over. So I was like, all right, bet. So he texted me the next day because I had attached my phone number on the email. So he texted me and he was like, hey, like, I'm over here in this office. Like, come on over and meet me. So I went over there and I walk in, and as soon as I walk in, he has my resume on the desk, and I sit down and I'm just like, oh my god, I did not know this was like an interview. Like, I was so shook. Guys, it was a great meeting. I really didn't even have to talk. Granted, when I had sent him the email, I sent him my resume and I sent him my portfolio, so that was just like really all the talking that I needed to do. And so in the interview, he was just kind of like, we need your help. Like, our media relations person is about to go on maternity leave, and we need someone, for the most part, kind of just to like take her position while she's gone. So I was like, oh my god, like, wow. So I literally started that job the following Monday, you guys, and the rest was history. I ended up staying there for around 7 months. She went on her maternity leave. I did all that I needed to do. She came back, and, you know, they wanted to keep me on, so I stayed. But the only thing about this position was that it was part-time, and it was very far from my house. Like, my commute back and forth was like 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back. So it was just kind of a lot, but I learned so much while I was there. And if any of them are watching this video, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me that opportunity and for being so nice and really taking a chance on me, because I had just graduated from school. I really had no experience other than the internship that I had had. Like I was saying at the beginning, it was kind of one of those fluke things. Like, the position wasn't even on Indeed or on LinkedIn. This was something that I had just reached out to the person about, and he made a position for me. I say all that to say, like, if you're having a hard time, like, getting into the field that you want, I definitely recommend taking advantage of internships, even if they aren't paid, because I feel like in this day and age, in order to get a job in your career field, is to have experience. So I highly recommend internships. If you're still in school, you still have time. That's one thing I regret, is not doing internships. I only did one internship in my whole entire undergrad. And then also, do what I did. Reach out to companies, send emails, go on LinkedIn, send the director a message, introduce yourself. Like, you definitely have to put yourself out there, and especially if you're in a position like me where, you know, I didn't have a lot of experience. It's kind of one of those things where, you know, they do have to take a chance on you, but you also, like, have to want it. Yeah, I feel like I'm not doing a whole lot of makeup here. I'm just doing a whole lot of talking. But I don't know. I just like really wanted to share that. I've been wanting to share that for a while actually. Mostly because like probably 2 months ago, someone reached out to me on LinkedIn, and it was actually a student who had one of my old professors, and my professor actually told her to reach out to me. So she sent me a message on LinkedIn, and it was kind of the same thing as far as like, you know what, I'm having a hard time getting into the PR world. Like, is there any internships that you know of, or if there's any advice? Like, literally it was the same email that I had sent my boss at my last job. And, you know, I told her kind of the same thing I'm telling you guys, is just like take advantage of internships. And I also told her you have to envision yourself in that position. For this job that I'm starting tomorrow, this was something that I literally prayed about, and I literally kind of almost manifested it. I remember when I got the email about the interview, and I was just kind of shook, because anyone that's ever like applied for jobs or has been jobless and have just been like applying for jobs, it gets to a point where you don't even know what you're applying for. Like, you're just like pushing out your resume. If it has anything to do with what you majored in, you're just sending your resume. So I remember when I got the email, I was so shook. I was so shook. Just because, again, this was one of those things where, you know, this was one of my dream jobs. So when I got the email, I was like, oh my god, are they talking to me? Like, is this me? Like, is this real? Also, I'm going really light with my makeup today because I honestly am not going anywhere, I don't think. I might just go somewhere just to get out of the house. But it's also Sunday. And I really have no money to spend. Moving makes you hella broke. Thank God my mom has helped me so much with, like, you know, getting things for the apartment. But I paid my rent the other day, which was like something I've never had to do. I've never paid rent in my life. So that was kind of sad. Like, I honestly was kind of in a bad mood for like 30 minutes after I hit make payment. Dang, what was I talking about? You see, I literally always do that. I have been working my ass off since undergrad to get to this point, and I don't want this to be a stopping point for me at all. Like, I almost feel like this is the beginning. I want to document all of this, which is why I really want to push out content while I'm here, and I want to do vlogs, and I want to talk more about like my faith, and I want to talk about my job. Like, there's so much that I want to do with this channel now. You know, this will be one of those things where I can look back on. And I actually went to church this morning. My church back at home, I was heavily involved in. And I actually was a part of the children's ministry. I just watched the kids every Sunday, every Wednesday, and every Thursday. And so this morning I woke up and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go to church, just because last night I was trying to see like churches around here and stuff. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like super intimidating for me, because it's just like you're like the new kid sort of thing. So I was just like, I don't want to go somewhere and then everyone's like looking at me. And like, long story short, I ended up going to this church. So it's called Fellowship Church, and if you live in like the DFW area, you're probably somewhat familiar with the church, because they have like, I feel like 4 or 5 churches just in like DFW alone. And the one that was closest to me was the one in Grapevine, and I had visited there a couple of times. And I liked it because it was very short and sweet. Like, their services are only an hour long, which is like different for me, especially coming from like a black church, because anyone who's been to a black church knows that our services can be anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours long. It just depends on if the Holy Ghost is in the house, because you know what I'm talking about. So they actually have a church out here in Norman, Oklahoma, which is probably around like 30 minutes from my house, which it doesn't sound bad, but it's like 30 minutes. Like, it's like a solid 30 minutes. Y'all, I have makeup everywhere because I have yet to unpack it. So I have like this thing right here, and then I have this thing, which is so old. It just looks like this. And then it opens and it has like this clear pouch, which is huge, and it actually like detaches, which I really fucks with. So you can like bring this when you travel. And then I have more makeup somewhere else, because I feel like the powder that I need is in that other makeup bag, but we're just gonna make do with what I have here. Like I said, I'm just doing something really simple today because I honestly don't think I'm gonna leave the house Or I really want to check out the library because there's like a library literally down the street. And I don't have internet right now, so I figured I could go over there and just like chill or whatever. But they're probably about to be closed. I really just don't want to be in the apartment. Like, that's one of the goals that I want to implement, is just like not being cooped up in here, because when I'm by myself for too long, I start to like overthink and then I get sad. So I just don't want to be in the house too long. See, I forgot what I was talking about again. Oh, so I was just kind of talking about the church. So I went there this morning. It was really, really good. They actually gave me like this really cute goodie bag, which I wish it was in front of me, but it's literally in my kitchen. Like, I could see it from here. But it had a book in there. It had a coffee mug that was really, really cute. Like, it was a really cute goodie bag. So it was a good service. Like I said, they have like multiple locations. So I'm like, okay, is it like, are they gonna live stream him from like the location in Grapevine, or is it a different pastor? Like, is it a whole different pastor? And I was right. They live streamed it. So you watch it from a TV, which was like a little different. Like, it was different, but you know, it got the job done. So anyway, in the service this morning, he was talking about, you will have to shed some tears to get to your purpose. Like, there will be some blood shed in order to get to your purpose. And I definitely related with that, because 2019 was like one of the toughest years for me. Like, it was a super transitional period for me. I lost good friends, and also I graduated school, so this was the first year I wasn't in school. That was something, like, not like having school to use as like, you know, an excuse for anything. Because just think, school, saying you're in school literally just is like, oh, okay, you're in school, like, and that's enough said, you know what I'm saying? But when you're not in school, it's like, okay, well, what are you doing? There were a few times this year where I like was questioning, like, God, like, help me, like, really help me, like, I'm lost. And, you know, today's service was mostly just saying, like, you know, you have to go through these things so that you can realize, like, A, look what you came from, and B, I mean, life isn't easy. Like, God's just not going to hand it to you. This is going to be another growth year for me, for sure. So hopefully it's not as brutal as last year, but then again, if it is, all those experiences made me who I am today, which is another thing they said in today's message, is it shapes you. It makes you grow. And I definitely grew this year. And I can't say I would have been able to grow as much if it hadn't been for those experiences. So yeah, that's that. I don't even know where I'm at with my makeup, to be honest. Like, I don't even know. But like I said, I'll have everything down in the description bar, even though I literally don't even know what I did. And I obviously need something on my lips, but I need to go buy something. Can you guys leave some like comments down below of like some good liquid lipsticks or something that you think will like suit me? Like, please help a girl out, because I have no clue. I have no clue. I don't watch makeup videos that much anymore. I don't even know what's the good stuff. I don't even know what I talked about throughout this video. And I know I was talking about something and then I switched to talking about something else. So if you want me to touch more on anything that I talked about in today's video, just let me know in the comments. And then also, like I said, leave a comment down below of anything, like any lip products that I can try, because I have nothing. Like, I'm still using the NYX Lip Lingerie ones, but those dry my lips out like no other. Sorry, I thought it like stopped recording. So yeah, that's the end of Makeup Chats with Meg. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
I would like to get to know if I could be the kind of girl that you could be down for. Cause when I look at you, I feel something tell me that you're the kind of guy that I should make a move on.